Hey guys, and welcome back to the CFC Chat YouTube channel. We have not been active for the Fulham game, but when Real Madrid come to town, well, we have to get going once again, don't we? And joining us today, as usual, by now, you should have, if you've been watching this channel, you should probably know that for every Champions League game, we have the good Juju, the Hebar Juju, as he likes to call it. Akash, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
Yep, doing fine, pulling through. And this time we do have a Real Madrid fan in the house as well to give us, sort of in-depth opposition analysis, as it were. How are you doing, Advait?
I'm doing good, bro. I hope you guys are doing well as well. And I was excited for the first leg, but now I'm more nervous for the second leg. So yeah, thanks for having me on, and looking forward to a good chat.
Yep, it should be a good chat. So anyway, first I'll go straight to you, Advait. Thoughts on the first leg, because I'm pretty sure Akash and I are both, satisfied with the 1-1 away result. Both of us predicted draws. I predicted a loss, and you predicted a 2-2 draw, if I'm not wrong, in our preview with Vivek. But how did the game go for you, Advait?
I mean, to be honest, considering the first 20-25 minutes, I think you guys were really dominant in the game. You guys created so many chances, and Pulisic and even the forwards and midfield kind of, was wreaking havoc. And you guys were creating a lot of chances and really exploiting our, I would say midfield was kind of out of position, and Marcelo was again out of position. So I think you guys were really exploiting that, and that Werner big chance, which I've seen a lot of discussions on Twitter. And to be honest, considering that, I think you guys could have easily gone 2 or 3 up, but then it was only 1-0 thanks to a good goal by Pulisic. So in that respect, I'm pretty satisfied. I wouldn't say very satisfied, but I would say it's a fair enough result of 1-1. Considering that we could have gone easily 2 or 3-0 down, and after that we kind of picked up, and in the second half as well, we didn't let you guys have too many chances. I think our midfield, especially Kroos and to an extent even Casemiro, kind of picked up and were able to make that good passes forward, and didn't really let you guys have too much of the ball, I feel, and it was way better than the first half. And so with that respect, I feel, and even Benzema with that good crucial goal. So yeah, it is a fair enough result. You guys did get the away goal, so that's a kind of something to look forward to us, because even if we don't score in the second leg, you guys will go through. So yeah, fair enough result, I would say.
Yep. Now I'll go to you, Akash, and he did mention the away goal. And do Real Madrid come to Chelsea with a more attacking mindset, because they are coming here with on the back foot, basically, aren't they? And if we keep a clean sheet, we're through to the final. That's the sort of situation. So what was your thoughts on the first leg? Because I was pretty disappointed initially, but then when you look back and think 1-1 away to Real Madrid, not that bad.
Being disappointed is kind of proof of how good that first half performance was, right? Because I don't think any of us expected us to go to Real and take the game to them as well as we did. And when you have these phases in matches, especially when you're as far in the Champions League as we are now, you have to take advantage. As in, at this level, you can't afford to miss the amount of chances that we did. But it happens in football, as in it's happened before. And in hindsight, a 1-1 draw away from home is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And we've brought positive advantages into our home legs, both against Atleti and Porto, and how that turned out. So I'm hoping that at least tomorrow, in terms of game management, our kids don't freak out. As in, we have a relatively young squad compared to Real, and I'm hoping that even if that there are periods in the game where we're under the cosh, which will happen. It's Modric and Kroos and Casemiro running things, so they will have periods where we're under pressure. But I'm hoping our structure holds, keeps things intact, and hopefully another final to look forward to. Let's see.
Hopefully we're just so close now, and I think it's the excitement is kicking in. But talking about Chelsea versus Real Madrid, straight into the team news, and we're gonna look at the transfers in between the two clubs, should I say. And the first one in Chelsea, the player who came to Chelsea from Real Madrid, Mateo Kovacic, is gonna miss the second leg as well. I think Thomas Tuchel confirmed that on the weekend. So how big of a loss do you think he's going to be, Akash? Do you think that it's a missed opportunity really to prove to Real Madrid that what a good player they had on their hands and got rid of, because his development has been pretty incredible over the past couple of seasons?
Yeah, it's a huge miss. As in, especially considering that Real have to push for a result, how his quick feet and his ability to be explosive out of a low block it's a huge miss. But I'm hoping that Kante can fill that gap to some extent. He might not be as silky as Kovacic is, but he was more than effective versus Real. So he kept running into the right channel versus, which Marcelo left vacant in the first leg. And, if he had made a couple of decisions right, if Pulisic had played that ball to Timo a little earlier or a little closer to him, if Kante had chosen the right pass, we'd be 3-up.
Yeah.
So it was minute details, in terms of transitions in midfield, which we missed out on. But I think Georgie and Kante can still, because we're not chasing a result in particular, they can still do, more than a competent job. And Kovacic is definitely a miss, but happens sometimes in football. Let's just hope he gets back fit for the rest of the season.
Yep, he has to be fit because we have such important games coming up. I was looking up our fixtures, and every game is a big game from now until the end of the season.
Game's a final.
Exactly, every game's a final. So hopefully he is back very soon. And now I'll go to Advait. I think we have talked about Kovacic personally in our DMs a lot, and I'll let you talk on Kovacic, and then after that you can straight away get on to the main talking point, which is Eden Hazard's return to Stamford Bridge.
Okay, so firstly about Kovacic, I think a lot has been said about his departure from Real Madrid and how he never got his chances and how he got limited chances, to be fair, not never. And again, it all depends on that midfield. Kroos, Modric, Casemiro, they were so consistent and good, so it was really difficult for him to get chances. So I'm happy that his transfer worked out at Chelsea and he's showing his class at your club. So yeah, to be fair, it is what it is. So and he will be a crucial. He's a crucial player for you guys. I think if I'm not mistaken, he was your player of the year last season.
Last year.
Yeah, last season. So that shows that he has all the qualities to really make a difference in a game like this, and it will be good that he won't be playing against us, I have to say, because but that being said, yes, he offers that silky passes and all that creativity, but then if you looked at the first leg, Jorginho and Kante did a very good job, I have to say. Kante was, of course, the man of the match, and he really ran things through and really held up very well against our midfield, I have to say. So I would say in that respect, considering that Jorginho and Kante are performing really well for you guys, I think they can fill in pretty easily. And considering that they did well in the first leg, I won't be surprised if they continue to show that in the second leg. And we really have to be up for it, and our midfield really has to get away from their pressing and create those chances. So this is about Kovacic, as you said, and now about Eden Hazard. It is a pretty sensitive and pretty talked about point ever since we all found out that Real Madrid and Chelsea could potentially face each other in the semi-finals. So I would say, in the first leg he came on, he played about 25 minutes, almost 30 minutes, and he was pretty good. He showed pretty good passes here and there, and before that, against the Real Betis game, he played about 15 minutes, and he actually created the most chances on the pitch, and that was just the first time he's coming back from injury. That just shows you his class. And also in yesterday's game against Osasuna, he played a good 70 minutes, and he looked really good, with all the passes, all the link ups with the Benzema and all that. It was very good. So my understanding is that Hazard really has to, since he has been out for so long injured, he hasn't been able to show the class that he had at Chelsea, and now that he's back, and fingers crossed, I'm not trying to jinx anything, but then he looks completely fit and pretty good to go. So I feel he should really, I feel he has a good chance to start. I think he started at the game at Osasuna, so he'll most definitely start against Chelsea. So it's how many ever minutes he gets, I feel that he should really show his class and try to create those chances, because the problem that we have up front is that the lack of consistency of goals, and Benzema has been the only remotely consistent striker for us, and I feel even you guys are facing a similar issue with the consistency in goals. So it's the same for us. So with Hazard back, I think with his creativity, he should really look at creating those goals, and eventually hoping that he takes us through to the final. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, he did show his class, and I remember seeing that clip on Twitter as well, where he, backheeled the ball. Yeah, that was incredible. But anyway, I'll give the talking opportunity to you now, Akash. In contrast to what Advait has just said, another former Chelsea player will be making a return, and he has also won 2 Premier League titles with us. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like heaven and hell difference between the two, and the person I'm talking about is, of course, the snake, Thibaut Courtois. So how do you think the contrast is going to be between the two? Because of course, if there were fans in the stadium, I think there would definitely be a huge contrast, but unfortunately there's not. But how do you think they're going to be, how do you think their return to Stamford Bridge for the first time since they left is going to be?
Yeah, he's lucky there's no fans. I think someone would have thrown a pig head on him, or at least a beer bottle on him if there were fans in the ground. So how he left a very bad taste in the mouth, man. So there was talk back and forth about how he might stay and how we were trying to get Alisson, and then we ended up paying 70 million for Kepa. In hindsight, that just makes us more angrier at him, but yeah, it happened. So he's gone there, he's having a successful career, whatever, but I hope he has a stinker. I hope we nutmeg him thrice and he leaves with eggshells on his face. So for Hazard, there will always be respect, despite the fact that a lot of people say he kept flirting with Real, but he stayed after that 15-16 season. As in, he had an amazing end to the season, even though he was out of form. We finished 10th. We had literally nothing to offer him, but he still stayed. He had a great 16-17. He was amazing in 17-18, but just won the FA Cup. And even after that, when everyone wanted him, he still stayed for another season. And whatever success we had during the Sarri season, we owe at least 90% of it to him. So, an amazing player, and he'll go down as a Chelsea legend for sure. But for tomorrow, he's the opponent, and I'm hoping Reece James leaves a mark on Eden, so to speak. So, and like Advait mentioned, right, he's coming back into form right now at just the worst possible time for us. But exactly. I hope he has a stinker. I hope he has a stinker on Wednesday.
I hope to. I mean, initially when the draw was made, I remember seeing reports that he's out for the season, and he could be out of the Euros as well, which is why, I was like, all right, it won't be that bad. But then now all of a sudden, he's expected to start this game, and I don't know, it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions. But talking about the opponents, let's get into the opposition team news. This time I'll post a question first to you, Advait, because you are our opposition analyst for today. And first things first, Varane and Carvajal expected to miss this game, but another centre-back and full-back in the form of Ramos and Ferland Mendy are expected to come back and start as well. Could you give us a little more on, who their replacements are going to be, or if Ramos and Mendy both are going to start, and how that's, probably going to positively impact the side, because Marcelo was shocking in the last game.
So with the team news, I think so Sergio Ramos and Ferland Mendy are back in training, and they have completed group training, so that's a good boost for us. But again, Carvajal is out injured for the season, and it's really unfortunate because considering the options that we have at right back, the backup is Odriozola, who isn't probably only half as good as Carvajal, so he really isn't a good fit for us. And as a replacement, he is of course a pretty decent player, but then when you're replacing Carvajal, it's a different ball game. So I think, with Carvajal out, I think the right flank, Zidane really needs to think about who he needs to start there, because there are quite a few options, but then you never know what kind of options can work against Chelsea. And talking about Ramos and Mendy, I feel that they might start because Ramos is, of course, he had a chance to play again in the Osasuna game, but then reports said that he kind of delayed it so that he can work on his fitness even more to be back against Chelsea. So I think he might. I think he might start and he might slot in right into the lineup because Varane is out injured now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ramos and Militao will be pairing, and of course Mendy. Of course, he's just back to training, but then I expect him to also get some minutes, and I hope he starts because, to be honest, Marcelo just isn't it. He's been like really poor since last season, to be honest, and we saw that clearly in the first leg where he was clearly caught out of position, and he made these attacking runs forward but never tracked back, and he left us exposed there, which is why basically in the first 20-25 minutes you guys were able to counter and attack in such fashion. So I hope Mendy is able to start, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's all up to Zidane now. What kind of tactics he tries to do against a pretty strong side, I would say.
Yep. Fair enough. We will get into the team news in a bit as well. But before we do that, Akash, I have to ask you about Sergio Ramos because he is just, I mean, when you think about Ramos, just one word comes to mind, and that is a beast, especially in the Champions League. He has so many iconic moments, and I think he's won basically every trophy there is to win. So how much do you fear his return, and should we be more wary when it comes to set pieces in his presence?
Not just set pieces. So in general, he's an amazing defender and an amazing player.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I mentioned this in the last pod we recorded. So people look at Ramos and see the shithousery and all the red cards and yellow cards, but underneath he's immense player, amazing on the ball, has an amazing spread, range of pass, very good, very neat into the tackle, and very vocal. True leader. So just having him on the pitch is going to be a boost for everyone there, regardless of whether Madrid line up in a 3-5-2. He'll play in the middle. If they line up in a 4, same thing, he'll play center back there. I think the 3-5-2 that they played last time was mostly because Zidane knew that Marcelo was going to struggle in recovery, but I don't think he expected him to struggle that bad. So it's probably going to be a 4 is what I feel. They'll probably play 4 in the back, and Mendy has the legs to get up and down. The right flank again is a concern for Zidane because Odriozola is a bit raw, as in he's not the finished article yet. He has attributes, he's a good ball player and all of that, but there's a lot more for him to learn there. So Ramos coming back is definitely a huge factor. Mendy is also very neat, very good attacker, and he has his cousin in goal there, so added motivation, family props there. So lots to look forward to in terms of individual battles there, but you're right, Ramos back is a huge boost for Real. He hasn't played much since January, if I'm not wrong, because he's had injury struggles, but if you check out his Instagram feed, the man is in shape. As in, I don't know if that translates to match fitness, but still, for his age, he is in ridiculous shape. So, interesting battle there. And again, I hope he has a stinker for us. So let's see.
Obviously. But anyway, let's get into the predicted team news then. We'll talk about the predicted team news first, so that we both get an idea of what each other are thinking, and then we can talk about the key battles, like in among the lineups that we have named respectively. So this time I'll go to you, Akash, first, and you can go ahead and give your Chelsea lineup, and I'm fairly certain that I'm going to agree with you on that one because it more or less speaks itself. But yeah, go ahead.
Cool, yeah. So Mendy in goal, obviously. Rudiger at left centre back, Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta, and wing backs at Chilwell and Reece James. Kante, Jorginho in midfield, obviously, and a front 3 of Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and Timo Werner. No complaints if Pulisic starts, but considering that Real have to push for a result, I think there will be space in behind. So Timo might be effective there.
Fair enough. No Azpilicueta at right wing back again?
Nope, not against Hazard. Not if they're playing a 4. And not, now that Ferland Mendy's back, too much of a risk.
Yeah.
As P8 right wing back.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Advait, what can we expect from the Real Madrid lineup to the best of your knowledge? And obviously, we still have to wait for the official confirmation about the injury news, the fitness, because the press conference is tomorrow. But to your knowledge, and obviously, it's do or die for Real Madrid at this point. So, do you think they're going to be taking that risk and going for four at the back and starting Mendy as well as Ramos?
So yeah, as you said, there are a lot of uncertainties here because we're still not aware of Federico Valverde's COVID test.
Oh, yeah.
He has apparently tested negative for the antigen test, but not in the PCR yet. It has been conclusive as per reports. So it really depends on whether he is available or not. Albeit he hasn't, trained with the team yet, and so again there are a lot of uncertainties. But then if I were to give my predicted lineup, obviously I would go with the 4-3-3 because we have to see. It depends again because if Valverde is back, I'd put him in the lineup personally. Because,
let's just assume that he's not going to be probably included for this one, and go ahead and name your lineup without Valverde.
Okay, so I think I'll go with the 4-3-3 of course because we need to get the goals, and the 3-5-2 I would say it wasn't very effective against Chelsea. So I'll go with the 4-3-3, of course, Courtois in goal. Then even with the match fitness issues, I think Ramos and Mendy will start. So Ramos and Militao, I'd put Ramos and Militao as the two centre backs, Mendy at left back, and this is a little bit of a tricky one, but I put Nacho at right back because I think he offers that experience and he's not too bad going front as well. And the three in midfield has to be Kroos, Casemiro, and Modric. And three up top, I'd go with Hazard, Benzema, and probably Asensio.
So you think Vinicius is not going to start this one?
It could be. I mean, Vinicius was pretty effective, but then he kind of he's been pretty inconsistent on goal. So I feel like and Asensio had a good game against Osasuna. Obviously, the momentum is there. So it could be either Vinicius or Asensio, but I'd want to see Asensio there because if you look at the 4-3-3, right? Hazard is on the left wing, and Vinicius is also a left winger. So and he hasn't been effective on the right as well.
Yeah.
He's only been either on the left or up front. So I don't see him. And although it did happen against Osasuna, both of them started, but then that was a completely different lineup. So I don't see him starting at right wing position.
Fair enough. And I think if I'm not wrong, your midfield was rested against Osasuna as well.
Yes, Kroos and Modric were rested.
So it should be a very thrilling encounter. And talking about encounters, let's get into the key battle segment. And this time I'll go to you first, Advait. You can give us probably your main key battle among two players. It can be from defense or attack. It's up to you.
Key battles. So okay, you mean like defenders as in...
Yeah, okay, fine. So let's do this, right? You talk about the key battles among the attackers, and Akash can talk about the key of Real Madrid attackers, and Akash will talk about the key battles about the Chelsea attackers.
Okay, so I think and in the Real Madrid attack, it has to be Benzema because he has scored that great goal in the first leg, and he's been our only remotely consistent attacker forward, I would say. So yeah, I mean I'd go with like Benzema
against Thiago Silva. I guess that would be their key battle. Akash, key battles for our attackers, because Ramos is back, and neither of Timo or Kai Havertz are, out and out physical sort of strikers that's going to cause Ramos problems. So I'll let you go talk about that, of course.
So I'll probably change the definition of battles a little bit. It'll be our It'll be Mace and Havertz versus Mason Havertz versus Militao and Ramos is how I'd put it.
Mm-hmm.
See, we know what Timo offers, right? So it's mostly running in behind the fullback into space when the ball is in transition.
Yep.
And right now, I'm not convinced that he has the feet or he did lay on an assist versus Fulham, but I don't think he does that often enough.
Mm-hmm.
So his main attribute is running in behind. But Kai and Mace with their movement can pose a huge concern to their centre backs. Kai with his intelligent movement, and also how he links up with people, as in very neat touch, can drift in and out of space, and very good player. Mason with his direct running and dribbling ability and his ability to get shots off fast. So these two are probably going to be pivotal, and also I'm counting on Mace dropping into midfield and helping out Kante and Jorginho against Kroos and Modric. If Kroos and Modric get going, right, so very hard to stop them once they find their passing rhythm. So disrupting them, getting in their face, maybe giving away a few fouls is going to be pivotal to how the match pans out. So I'm hoping, I won't even mind if it's a shit show like the one against Porto.
Exactly.
The match was a hard watch, as in probably one of the most boring matches I've ever seen, but it was a necessary evil at the time. We barely let them play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping something of the sort happens, or if it's going to be an entertaining match, let's whip them 3-1. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, fair enough. So then that is going to be your match prediction?
No, that's a little too optimistic even for me. I'll go with a 1-0 win. 1 goal on the counter attack, classic Timo Werner assist. He runs in behind, rolls the ball across for Kai to finish.
Wow. Okay, so you have us to go into the Champions League final, and now I'll go to Advait, who I can see is smirking and laughing on the screen. So what's your prediction for this game?
Same thing, but then favoring us. So I go with 1-0 Real Madrid.
Ramos from a corner. Ramos. Okay.
I'd go with Benzema. Ramos, I mean, it's very well possible the kind of beast he is, but then I feel like he's just coming back from injury. I'd want him to be defensively solid as opposed to going too forward in attack and leaving us defensively left
I
out.
can give you a stat regarding how important Benzema is to realize. CFC Central sent me this a couple of days back.
Mm-hmm.
After Ronaldo left in 17-18, Real's top scorer is Benzema with 85 goals. Yep. Second top scorer is Ramos with 26 or 27.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
but then
that is,
yeah, but then I have to add that most of his, not most, probably almost 50 to 60% of them have been penalties. Ramos's, because last season we did get quite a few penalties in the league, I have to say, and he's been our leading penalty taker whenever he's been fit. So yeah, I mean the attacking threat is obviously there. Ramos is an absolute beast, but then for this match, since he's just coming back, I'd want him to focus defensively, because you guys have a pretty lot of options in the attack and lot of pace as well. So I want him to be defensively solid and of course try to help out that way.
Yeah. All right, then.
1-0.
So both of them are predicting 1-0 for their respective teams, and me, of course. I am a Chelsea fan. There's no hiding that. But I was a mediator for this video. But I'm gonna go for a thrilling 2-1 victory to Chelsea in extra time. Okay, so that is my bold prediction. It's going to be 1-1 after 90 minutes, and then in extra time we're going to get that second goal and we're going to make it to the final. I think there's just too many coincidences for this to not happen, but I mean, after this, if Real Madrid do end up winning, it's going to be a huge troll listening to this fellow talking about me every day, but let's hope that it does not get to that. But anyway, that's been our time, guys. Any last closing words from Advait?
Yeah, I mean, in the first leg, as I said at the start of the video, for the first leg I was really excited, but now for the second leg I'm quite nervous, I have to say, really nervous about the game, because considering the form that you guys have been and the defensive solidity that Thomas Tuchel has kind of imbibed in you guys. So I'm really looking forward to this game. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster, I'm pretty sure of that. and I really hope the boys step up in white and get that win, because we need to book our spot in the final.
Right. All right. And now, Akash, I hope this isn't going to be the last time you're going to be joining us. Hopefully, it will be for the Champions League final as well. Any closing thoughts?
Not much. So I'll just say a lot of our friends on Twitter have already booked tickets to Istanbul. So I'm hoping they get to go. So. And I hope it works out, man. It's been a long time since I've 9 years since the last final. We're due one right now. So Real has had enough success over the past. let them give the other ones a shot this time. So.
Yeah, that is spot on. Let them give the other guys a chance. So anyway, that wraps it up. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed the video from both perspectives, and as always, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on your thoughts and how you think this game is going to pan out. But until next time, guys, see you.
Thank you.
Peace, guys.